set.
So really value that win. That was Frank in South Carolina play a unique style. Getting ready for it is difficult because Illinois will play like that in our league as well. But it's a unique style where they're going to not let you make many catches. They're going to bully the ball string and lift it up and then go underneath everything. So you got to have a few people that can shoot it behind it. Jordan did that. And then you got to have guards like Xavier that can get in the lane and find other people. And that worked as well. And then you got to have big guys at the rim that can clean up or get rebounds because of that. And Johnny did that. I loved our 13 offensive rebounds. That's what they do, and they only got 7. Our defense was not great. It's a tough matchup for us inside, and I think we got to get better at helping John in the post. A little upset at our team that the scouting report said Silva's going to go right, he's going to go right, he's going to go right, and he went right, and we still fouled him. And the same thing with Kotsar, with Gravett, right? He was one guy we weren't going to give help off of, so we gave help 3 times. He got open threes. So a lot of things to grow from in this one going forward, but it is a W. We've got 10 games down, 10 wins, and got some time right now to retool a little bit while we get ready for the Broncos next Saturday at 2.
Jacob?
Yeah, John, I know you mentioned how South Carolina plays a very unique style, but tempo-wise, you saw a team past North Carolina. Did that in any way prepare you for what you was
Their tempo or ours?
North Carolina.
That they were going, South Carolina, they were going downhill. Yeah, I mean, we were going to see teams like that, and they got us a few times, but their transition offense wasn't it was more inside play, and their schemes were great. And then, to be honest with you, we made it easier for them by letting them go to their strengths sometimes as well. But I don't like the tempo. They got us a couple times, but not a whole lot.
Right in front with Zach.
There's been a lot of different kinds of games, but what has impressed you most about your team in this 10-0 start?
Find a different way. Isaiah hitting those shots late. Isaiah getting four threes up and in. Iggy finding another way to score, just get to the foul line. Charles making 2 threes. Right, Xavier getting into the basket just enough and having seven assists. So Teskey almost had a double-double. I mean, if we continue to stay healthy, right, we have a chance of being a successful team. So we just got to keep working at it.
Is that find a way component? Is that taught? Is that learned? Is that just the makeup of the players you have?
I think that any coach is going to have that same mindset that when you have. We see their style couldn't be more different than Purdue, who switched every screen, and then Northwestern. Then we got to be able to adapt, and if that means find a way, that's the way. But we got to adapt. You weren't going to be able to run like Northwestern. We could probably run 4 passes and get into what we wanted to get to. We know we couldn't do that today, so we had to go into a dribble offense.
On your left with Chris.
16 turnovers. How much do you credit them, and how much are you?
Oh, it was both. I mean, we had some really careless ones, over dribbling and Iggy's at the end. Just we beat the press, and now we're trying to beat the press even better. But we have a few of those. But that is them. They're good, and you have to be able to adjust to that. And that's why the game was very close. Is that they shot the ball really well, and they got to the right spots, and we gave it back to them way too many times.
Right in the middle with Jay.
John, Frank was just in here praising your player development. He specifically talked about how in 2016 that Xavier and Teskey kind of looked like kids when they were on the bench, and today they came out and did what they did. So just when you look back at that game 2 years ago and how much your team has transformed itself since then, what's kind of the secret?
Yeah, I don't think JP even got in that game last year maybe, and Johnny played a little bit, and it was not pretty. So that's what college basketball has to be more about, is kids developing over time instead of focusing on all the guys that are impact players right away and forgetting about the other guys. And that's what the student athletes have to embrace. There's a process I got to go through here. I mean, when you were a freshman in high school, were you the star of the team? I doubt it, right? Well, now you're a freshman in college. You're not going to be the star of the team. And there's other people that bodies are better, bigger. I think that growth between 17 and 22 is a pretty significant growth in their body as well. So I love what John and Jordan are doing right now. They're as key as any of the guys that are getting any other type of attention.
Over here with Mojo.
John, Frank Martin, he also talked about you guys, your team has like a championship DNA. You can tell the way you guys cut, dribble, and pass. How difficult is that to maintain from last year, being in the national title game? You lost some players and seemingly have picked up that same mentality.
You know, I think there's enough people missing from last year that there's a different identity with this team. And that they look around and nobody's looking around and saying there's got to be, you know, where's Duncan or where's Mo? They're attacking with what we have. Xavier's record since he's been a starter, it hasn't dropped off, right? So it's I think we had a really good mindset of we got to be tough, number one, and we got to guard, number two, and then we got to be versatile, number three, in how we play people, because everybody plays us different.
All the way in the back.
Hey, Coach, how you doing? Drew Banks, Home Point Basketball, Toronto. Just talk a little bit about Ignis and his aggressiveness this season. First half, 7 of 8 from the line, and what he did in the game. Didn't shoot well, but what do you see positives from him for the season and the game?
Yeah, that he'll still make some very glaring freshman-like mistakes. He didn't switch a screen today a couple times and thrown that ball away, but we'll live with him, you know, because he's doing all the other things. I want him to keep shooting because he's really shot the ball well lately. At the same time, he's one guy that gets to the foul line a lot, and he makes it. So that was a difference in the game. Him getting them in foul trouble a little bit, getting us in a double bonus, so that you go to the line with a double bonus, a whole different feel. But he's very coachable. He's getting better. I mean, he's going against pretty older guys there and having to play against them. He did a great job.
Over here with John.
John, you talked about the difficulty of this schedule coming into the year. Is there an element of surprise for you at all that you're sitting at 10-0?
Everybody wants to, you know, what's the answer? Tell them the answer, Chris.
He's never surprised.
I'm never surprised because I don't expect anything. I just live day to day. So I'm really happy to be 10-0, and I mean that sincerely. I don't know, you know, I'm usually expecting the opposite. That I'm looking at things like, you know, what could go wrong instead of, hey, we got it rolling, and that's my mindset. And so at the same time, that is I'm really happy that we're 10-0. We'd like to one game at a time finish the non-conference and go into the conference with a similar record if we can.
On your right with Greg.
You mentioned Isaiah missed 12 points today. How important is it for you guys to have that guy come off the bench and really contribute offensively for you guys?
Yeah, that was those 2 threes that he made today. I mean, with the way the game can go, you know, up 10 with 4 minutes to go, or 5 minutes, or 6, it can be a 4-point game in 2 shots. So he gave us that space because we were having trouble stopping him. We don't want to foul him, you know, and at the other end. So it's tougher to stop him late. We're going to try and get him to make a miss as opposed to you know, put him in the foul line, let them set their press. So for him to make those 2 and keep them out of transition offense, second one's a high degree of difficulty, and he just knocked it in. And, you know, he started missing his first 2, so he really finished strong with 4 of those.
Stay there with Andrew.
Coach, in these next few practices, it'll be more about you than the opponent.
Yep.
I guess, what will you be emphasizing?
Well, I think once we all watch the video tonight and tomorrow morning, we'll have a better idea of that. But I think it's getting back to, we're not in the gaps like we were early in the year. I think we'll get a lot of reps. Now the next couple of days are great. Couple of days for some of our shooters to get a lot of reps up and then rest, get more reps up and then rest, just like you would with a major league pitcher. So get to keep them fresh, but keep repping so the muscle memory is really good.
And then not long term, but within a specific game, you know, when the bench doesn't play that many minutes as far as fatigue or things like that.
Yeah.
Did you see that at all today or not really?
No, you know, you look at some of the best teams are doing exactly what we do, and but I'm very hopeful. We switched Austin and Brandon the last couple of days. Both of them were outstanding on the scout team, and so it was hard to pick up who was what. But you know, they're both works in process. And then David, we're going to need David at some point this year. You know, and the other young guys are just working. Cowan and Adrian are just working. They'll do a full lift today, right before the game. They did a full lift. We didn't expect them to play, and so that they can really grow through all this. And then that gives us more time to work with them tomorrow. but we'll lengthen it. We're going to be as ready as we can be to lengthen it if we need to. But I'm not worried about anybody getting tired.
Over here back with Chris.
You talked about how guys develop at different rates with Austin. Is there still that opportunity for him?
Yeah,
to
yeah.
pick up
I think the
stuff?
game speed is still the biggest issue with Austin, that we put him into the game. The guys are quick, and he can do that, but it is, he guards John a lot, and he guards Brandon a lot, and it's different than Silva. Silva's a veteran, and so he's growing every single time, but he's been watching film for 3 years. Basketball acumen's got to continue to grow for us to play him more minutes, and he's sort of learning, what he has to do. So he goes in the game today, and the guy goes right. That we said that's the only thing he's going to do is go right. Make him go left. He can make a play going left, but he's not, and he goes right. Those are the type of things that first-year players, and he really is playing for the first time every game, they make and they grow from, and he will.
Let's close it out with Orion.
How crucial is John's rim protection?
Yeah, I think they know he's in there. They still shot 50%, so it is a tough team for us to play against because they are going to go inside and rebound so well. But the ones that he changed were either runouts for us or big stops in the game. He just can't make those. I'm not happy with him with those 2 last fouls. It's like he's got everything. Guy drives right, and then he puts his hands up. That was John Teskey last year, right? And that's why we need him to be in that game and not play out in this space and play vertical.
All right, Coach, that'll
All right, thanks everyone.